It's the Wilk Report. I'm Michael Wilk, coming to you from Cleveland, Ohio. And we've got some heavy feels coming to you with this week's episode. Lasting impressions. I just can't get over how awesome this episode was. Once again, it's a character-driven story. We've got more focus on Gordon Malloy. To start off, we've got Tim Russ, everyone's favorite Vulcan, playing an archaeologist who uncovers a time capsule from 2015. And it's up to the crew of the Orville to decipher what's found on a cell phone that's been left in there. And when Gordon and Lamar go ahead and get it working again, they discover a video message from a woman named Laura who is immediately let me just say that Gordon is smitten with her instantly. It's one of those love at first sight kind of things. The basic premise is that Gordon falls for this woman. She's long dead, but he decides he's going to try and figure out who this woman was based on her cell phone, like all her text messages, all her videos, all her pictures, and he goes ahead and uses a simulator. And the episode kind of reminded me of Somewhere in Time, along with the episode of Star Trek The Next Generation Season 3, Booby Trap, where Geordi falls in love with a hologram he created to help solve the situation. And there's a funny side story with Bortus and Clyden becoming addicted to cigarettes, like hyper-addicted, because of Moclan physiology, and I'll get into that a little bit later. But I wanted to kind of focus on the relationship between Malloy and Laura here, because he goes ahead and, like I said, he does a simulator program that's basically extrapolated from the phone. And he enters the simulator. He's in the middle of a party, and Laura's there. They meet, and they're kind of, they're kind of making fun of him a little bit for his attire, but he kind of bullshits his way through it because he can't, he can't tell them that they're a simulation, because then it wouldn't work. Because he's trying to find out who this woman was and how she lived. And I'm just kind of amazed by the level of character development here, because Gordon is usually the comic relief, the guy who cracks most of the jokes, and he's a great pilot, but that's pretty much all he is. He's not someone you'd want to trust with anything. But the last couple episodes, they've really given him time to shine, and so he's all excited about this woman he's created on the simulator, and Lamar is kind of like, that's great, but don't get too carried away. But of course he does get carried away. He ends up he's talking to Tim Russ and trying to figure out hey, can I actually make a cell phone or something? And so he goes ahead and does that. And there's a scene later on, after he's actually that he actually goes ahead and takes a call on the bridge. But yeah, he goes to the simulator. He's dressed for actually going out on a date. He finds Laura just, she's singing, and the singer and actress who plays her is really awesome. In fact, I'll go ahead and link the I'll go ahead and link it to her video, because it's really a touching song, and really a beautiful song. Gordon is pretty much, like I said, he's falling heavy for her. He's completely and totally in love. And he keeps getting warned by the others, look, don't get carried away with this. You're not, she's not real. You're going to end up getting your heart broken. But, of course, he doesn't listen, and he's going ahead and taking things to the next level here. And, of course, he ends up sleeping with her, which would be weird in this show if not for Claire getting it on with Isaac. But, things are starting to, affect his job performance. He's taking calls on the bridge while he's on duty. He's snapping at Ed, who tries to remind him, look, this is just a hologram, don't take it too seriously. But, Gordon's not having it. He points out, look, Claire has a thing with Isaac, and, Ed, you fell in love, you got it on with a Krill woman, and Ed kind of points out, look, she lied to me, I didn't lie to myself. And that kind of gets Gordon, because he's, like I said, he's not thinking with the, he's not thinking with his brain. He's kind of miserable when he realizes, look, because what ends up happening is that the program goes based on things that she has put in her text messages, and so she ends up getting back together with her ex-boyfriend Greg within the program, and he's kind of depressed about it, and Lamar kind of tells him, we can't really control the situation. But this is a point where Gordon decides, well, hey, I can reprogram the simulator to get rid of Greg. So he does. Unfortunately, it does not have the effect that he wanted it, because as it turns out, eliminating Greg from the program eliminates Laura's desire to become a singer, and ultimately he realizes he has to let her go and let the past stay in the past. So this is really a touching episode. Like I said, there's shades of Somewhere in Time, where he falls in love with a woman from the past, and he goes ahead and tries to be with her, but he can't, because he's from a completely different time period, and she's long dead. So it's very bittersweet, very touching. Then of course there's the side story with Bortus and Clyden getting addicted to cigarettes, and they try the cigarettes first Clyden eats one of the cigarettes, and then they light up and start smoking, and they realize, oh, hey, this is good. So they order 500, and pretty soon everything's becoming like a huge addiction with them. They end up smoking pretty much everywhere. Borden is turning the bridge into a smokehouse, and then of course it's discovered that they're addicted, and that they have to pretty much go cold turkey until Claire can come up with a cure. And of course, it doesn't really work because Bortus catches Clyden smoking. Then, of course, when he's confronted, he goes ahead and calls out Bortus because he discovers a cigarette hidden in one of the flower planters. So, the whole thing leads to Bortus, revealing all the cigarettes he had hidden. And he's like, so Clyden is actually not nearly as bad hiding the cigarettes as Bortus is. Because he's just got them everywhere. It's like but so yeah, I mean, just really funny, and it there's kind of like a parallel story going on here where this obsession starts affecting the work of the person who has it, and it's basically about addiction too, because Bortus and Clyden become addicted to cigarettes. Gordon becomes addicted to a holoduck program, basically. He becomes Reginald Barley. So, so I mean, it's just really touching episode. It's and I'm continually blown away by the commitment that Seth MacFarlane and company have to making a very good television series. They're not prepared to settle for second best. They're not prepared to do just good enough. They are constantly pushing the envelope. They're constantly bouncing around genres, actually, because one minute it's sci-fi, the next it's action, the next it's comedy, the next it's drama. It's got a little bit of everything. And I just hope that, because this is episode 11, I think, of the second season. So I think they've only got a couple more left. I'm hoping that now that they've got a couple more character-driven stories under the belt, that they'll do a couple more action-based episodes, because Identity Parts 1 and 2 just kind of stepped up the game a whole lot. And I really hope that the next couple of episodes, just blow STD out of the water with their lame-ass Red Angel bullshit, because their whole Spock thing is just, oh my god, dude, I can't even begin to tell you how stupid this all is. Anyway, what do you think? Did you like the episode? Did you not like it? Do you think they've kind of fallen back into the rut of focusing too much on character-driven stories? Should they go back to action or sci-fi? Let me know in the comments. If you like what you've heard and you want to hear more, hit the subscribe button and the bell icon to receive notifications whenever we upload new content. And if you want to help support the channel, head over to our Patreon or Subscribestar page. Get the rewards listed in the side column, help us diversify our content, and keep the lights on. Until next time, this is Michael Wilk for the Wilk Report saying take care, good night, I'm out.